Back to Pit Perspective. I'm your host, Roger Sherman, pit master and owner of the District Pit Barbecue Catering Company in Washington, D.C., coming to you from the O Street Mansion. Today's focus is going to be different than anything we've ever done before. Today, we're going to focus on healing our bodies and our minds. My guest today is Mr. Omar Garcia. Omar is the founder of Omziel Healing Sanctuary. Omziel's mission is to help unleash the fullest potential of your body, mind, and spirit. Having a healthy mind and energetic body will help lead to a more enriched life. The sanctuary is located in North Bergen, New Jersey, only miles from Manhattan. Omar, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, man. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much, brother. Pleasure to be here.
So I'm going to tell a quick story here real quick. It's a little bit more of an introduction, then I want to get into your show. So Omar and I have known each other for the better part of 2 decades, and our relationship is purely accidental. So what happened was I had pictures of my daughter that I had gotten taken, and I was emailing them to a friend of mine who I wanted to see, my beautiful child. She was probably about 4 or 5 years old at that point. And as I was typing in the email address, I missed by a single character. So I was off by 1 character. And so the email address that I ended up sending it to was Omar's email address. And at that time, we didn't know each other. So he gets the email, sees it, instead of deleting it and moving on with his life, he responds, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not the guy you're looking for, but you've got a beautiful child. I've got a young child as well." And without going into too much detail, our life experiences with our children are very similar. Omar's a few years older than me. His daughter's a few years older than my daughter, but very similar life circumstances with our children. So I just wanted to share that story. Our relationship, our almost 2-decade relationship is based off of me accidentally missing an email by 1 character. But, Omar, thanks for being a good friend. Thanks for being on my show. So I just want to jump into it real quick. Tell me about the Healing Sanctuary.
Well, we are the Omziel. That was a great story, by the way, man. I still tell everyone. They all love that story, man.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite stories. 1 character off and we never meet.
Right. It just so happens that, we were meant to be with each other and to get to know each other as friends of that, right? So it's been 2 decades. It's been an incredible ride, bro. You've been there for me and we're growing together. So we are Omziel Healing Sanctuary, right? So I am the co-founder as well as my wife too. Let's not leave that part out. Okay. She's the better half of all of this, right? So we're raising 2 children, and our journey is similar to most people, struggling, going through your life, the 9 to 5, you go through the grind and you just find your way through it, And I started thinking about, there's got to be something else in this life. There has to be something that makes me happy and fulfilled. So we just started looking. And, we felt the calling after finding different healing modalities that we would open up a center. Our home is our sanctuary. We've converted it into the sanctuary that it is. So Omziel is a combination of my name, Omar, and Aziel, my wife's name. So we took the first part of my name and the second part of hers. So it's Omziel. This is a space where people can come and express themselves however they like to. One of the healing modalities that we have going on here, one of the main staples, is our deep breath with cold water immersion. So if you think about sicknesses that humans get, something like 85 to 90% of all sicknesses come from inflammation. So the ice water, it suppresses all of that inflammation in your body. So if you think of like high athletes, right? After you see them working out, like yourself, you've experienced some of those things about the cold water.
First, I'm glad you brought that up as early as you did. So you guys have a YouTube channel and you have a Instagram page, and I've seen you post some of the, I've been lucky enough to actually be in the sanctuary myself, but I wasn't there for this particular event. where you do cold water immersion. Now, this is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. So you've got a giant bucket of ice. You live in New Jersey, right outside of New York. It's cold there. I think when I saw this video that you posted, it was either November or December, so it was definitely cold. And it is a complete and total immersion of an individual into a giant bath of ice for a period of time. So tell me about how that works and why somebody would want to do it. Initially looking at that, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I would want to do that in New York in the middle of the winter, but it works for you guys and you had a lot of people participating in it. So tell me a little bit about it.
Well, what we have is it's a stock tank, and we fill it with water, and then we get bags of ice. And this was done, if I'm not mistaken, it was early January or late December, so it was very cold outside to begin with. But the breathing that we do is the one that oxygenizes your body or your cells. It pushes a lot of oxygen. You're breathing in a lot of air, right? And you're releasing a lot of carbon. So what you're doing is you're getting your body ready for the cold, you know? So if you think about, you know, any type of stressful situation that you're in, you know, you're always breathing. Like if you're scared, it's always, you know, or something like that. So
yes.
What we're doing is we're controlling the breath. You know, we're purposely putting in oxygen into our body, and that prepares us for the cold water. You know, it doesn't make it any easier. So like, not that it doesn't make it any easier. It's just like, it's not a magic bullet. It's not like, okay, if I put a lot of air in my body, I'm just gonna step into this water and it's gonna be just fine, you know? It's like, after you do a few rounds of this breathing, what it does is it prepares your body and also your mind, you know? But this breathing and stepping into this uncomfortable zone, it prepares you for all of those other things. So what happens is you end up filling your life with lots of positive energy, and you're able to tackle some of these stressful things as they come your way.
You mentioned putting yourself in an uncomfortable space. So the actual immersion into the ice water, is it, from your perspective and for the purposes of your healing sanctuary, is it more mental or is it more physical? Is it a combination of the two?
Combination of both physical and mental. You know, just when you're in that cold water, like, well, let me just say, like, after I do my breathing and I'm ready for the water, my body is on fire, I'm lit up, I'm ready to go. I get into the water, and then the water gets up to here, and then my mind starts to scream, like, get out, get out, get out. And then I feel these blocks of ice all in the water, and usually you get this big lump of ice, like right in my middle low section, if you know what I mean, right?
Sure.
I feel the ice like burning me right inside and deep, you know? But it's just the breathing. You breathe differently when you're in the water. You breathe outward a little bit more. So, because when you first get into the water, your first reaction is to breathe like, but instead you just breathe slow, control your breathing. Like, short in and longer out. Short in and longer out, like that. It helps, but like I said, there's no magic bullet. Like, there's no magical technique that you're not going to feel uncomfortable. You are, but that's the whole point of it too, is to feel uncomfortable. That way, when stresses come in your life, which stresses are imaginary illusions anyway, right? So when stress, so-called stress comes to your way, you know, you're able to tap into that deeper part of your brain, and you're able to stay calm within the storm.
So here's another thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is not directly associated with the healing sanctuary. You and I have known each other for close to 2 decades, and in that 2 decades, we have grown older. And over the course of us growing older, you started doing Spartan races. Which is crazy for me to even think about. Now, I got involved in some other stuff. I started doing some other pretty physical things. We won't get into because this is about you, but you're out there you're a married father of children, but you found the time to get out there and start doing these Spartan races things, and you have transformed your body over the course of this process. Talk about that and how the healing sanctuary and the process that you're going through there have helped you to transform your body. I'm not going to throw your age out there, but we're not young. But how that has helped you to make this a part of your life at this stage in your life. Because I've seen the pictures of you doing the Spartan races. I want no part of that, bro. I want no part of it. But talk about that for a little while.
The Spartan race is one of many different franchises that go on that are obstacle courses. So you have about 20 or 30 different courses where obstacle courses where you're climbing walls, or there's a rope that you're climbing or pulling over, you're jumping over, or your monkey bar swinging, and it's all of these challenges. So in 2019, I went with my brother-in-law. We went to Vermont. We drove up 4 hours, right? Got there late, couple of hours sleep, bang, you got to get up 5, 6 in the morning, get your gear, get out to the race spot, check in and all that. The race is, I think, only about 16 miles long, right? But it's in a ski lodge.
Only about 16 miles? That's a long way.
Not only that, it's in a ski lodge, which are not hills. They're mountains that you're going up. So yes. I've done a few around here, but they call that one the Beast from the East. That's how wicked it is. I mean, leading up to it, I was meeting other, players, and I was telling them, hey, I'm going to Vermont. They were like, good luck, bro. And I was like, what? Why you say it like that? They were like, you'll see. 9 hours to complete that. 9 hours. Wow. It was brutal. I mean, the elevation on the highest mountain there, if I'm not mistaken, was about 8,000 feet. Like, once you get up to the mountain, I mean, we had to do a couple of them. Like, it was late at night, it's cold, the wind is blowing, there was fog in the air, you couldn't even see 5 feet in front of you. But it was so rewarding at the end. That's why we are now gathering people to do this, and we're going to be taking care of them, including to join them too on the race.
So what type of training goes into that? Are you naturally a runner? Or are you just lifting weights? Or are you actually going out and practicing on different courses? How do you train for something like that?
That's a great question, brother. Now, I started running. I remember that day. It was raining and it was cold, and I went, I'm doing it. That's it. I put on my sneakers, man, and I just started running. And I ran around the park, and I was jumping over the benches. I slipped, I fell, I busted my knee open, I was bleeding, bro, but I just kept running like a madman, because I was so determined, and that's really what people need to do, is just, be determined. So you start just exercising in small increments. You do 2 days of exercise, and you rest 1 day or two, and you do another 3 days and stuff like that. The breathing helps. The cold water definitely helps, right? We have the innate responsibility to be the best person that we can be, to be the best human that we can be on the planet, and help other people do that too.
Omar, this is great, man. Do me a favor, take a couple of seconds and tell people how they can get in contact with the sanctuary, how they can find you, where they can find you. Give me the whole gamut.
Okay. Again, we are the Omziel Healing Sanctuary. You can find us on Instagram. You find us on Facebook, and you can also see the YouTube channel that we have. And we have other things that are, still growing, right? Because it's a lot of work to try to get this message out and to help anyone who wants to do this sort of work with us. Check out the website, www.omzielhealingsanctuary.com. There is a page of events. There's a page of photos. There's a bit of history about myself and my wife, the founders of the Omziel Healing Sanctuary. So check us out.
Omar, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. This was great. Like I said, this was a lot of great information. I have had the opportunity to visit the Healing Sanctuary. I actually catered for him one time. It's a beautiful location. So please check out his website, check out his Facebook page, his Instagram, and watch some of the videos of some of the different healing modalities that they participate in, because it's really spectacular. I want to thank the O Street Mansion again for hosting our show. Once again, Omar, thank you very much. And to our listeners, we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.